What's going on, you guys? My name is CodyT503 and this is Interesting Podcast. Coming to you guys on March 16th, 2023 for episode 36, where again today we have some WWE news. The Undertaker criticizes wrestlers for breaking character on social media. Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania 39 status after being absent from WWE television, and John Cena gives his opinion on Vince McMahon's misconduct allegations. We're going to break down everything and then discuss it all right here, right now, on Interesting Podcast. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you guys get notified whenever I upload content. Make sure to go and follow me on social media at CodyT503. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Let's get right into this. So as always, this is being brought to you guys by the Spotlight News. Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania 39 status after being absent from WWE television. This is what they had to say. Last month, Bray Wyatt started a storyline with Bobby Lashley. However, the two superstars have yet to meet each other in the ring despite WrestleMania being 2 weeks away. The last time Wyatt and Lashley interacted with each other was on the February 27th episode of Monday Night Raw, where Wyatt appeared on screen and sent a message to Lashley with the Muscle Man dance. This past Sunday, Bray Wyatt was supposed to compete in a street fight against LA Knight at Madison Square Garden in New York. Wyatt was absent from the show and Knight faced Braun Strowman instead. Yesterday, a rumor circulated that Bray Wyatt had walked out of WWE due to a creative issue. However, Ringside News debunked the rumor. Fightful Select was told by WWE sources that Bray Wyatt is dealing with physical issues and his return date is uncertain. Fightful also noted that Wyatt vs. Lashley's WrestleMania match will take place as planned. They had this to say, and I quote, WWE sources familiar with this situation who have worked with Wyatt claim to Fightful that Bray Wyatt is currently sidelined with a physical issue, and they're not sure on a return time as of now. There had been rumors that Wyatt had walked out due to creative issues, but thus far we haven't gained any information that would confirm that, and haven't been told that from anybody in the company thus far. Bray Wyatt had been slated for other live events and episodes of SmackDown, but was pulled from those due to the physical issues WWE sources claim. However, even though he'd been sidelined, Bobby Lashley continued the feud without Bray Wyatt being there, including last week in a backstage segment. End quote. Following the news of Wyatt's absence at the MSG live event, Bobby Lashley issued the following tweet and stated that he will face anyone at WrestleMania 39 if Wyatt is unable to compete. This is what Bobby Lashley had to say, and I quote, "I've worked too hard to be denied. I will be ready to fight on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I don't care who it is, somebody will feel the wrath of the Almighty." End quote. See, now this is actually something that has been going on for the past few weeks, where people have been feeling like out of all of the storylines going into WrestleMania, it feels like the Bobby Lashley and Bray Wyatt storyline has really, really taken a hit. Because when Bray Wyatt came back and he introduced all of the characters, and he introduced like Uncle Howdy, and he had his puppets in the crowd and whatnot. It was so captivating that like it gave me goosebumps. Like I remember sitting there watching it live, and like I got goosebumps, and just so good, And I just feel like it's kind of fallen flat on its face, going into WrestleMania, especially with like the report said, where we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania now. And we still haven't gotten very, very much storyline going into it. Like we haven't gotten a face-to-face of them both being in the ring, to actually cut a promo. Because it's like, what is WWE going to do for a video package at WrestleMania when it comes to this feud? I don't really see how they're going to coordinate that. But I also see that with this report, WWE is also giving themselves a backup plan. They're planting the seed by allowing people to know that Bray Wyatt is suffering with a physical issue and that the match is planned to still take place at WrestleMania, but there's still that possibility that Bray Wyatt couldn't be there. And if you actually look at it, it could not be really a bad thing. You know, like if Bobby Lashley were to go into WrestleMania and WWE were to be able to surprise him with, you know, a decent opponent, something we would actually really clamor to see, unlike a Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley where it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It would actually work better than this storyline that we're getting so far. You know, it would add more intrigue to plant that seed now. Give it 2 weeks for us to kind of speculate on who he could possibly be facing at WrestleMania instead of Bray Wyatt, and that's a good storyline right there. I'm not against it. But to add another point to this whole topic, it was saying that there was a rumor that was debunked over Bray Wyatt and him walking out due to creative differences. I don't see Bray Wyatt conducting himself in that manner. I don't see him walking out because WWE has fired him in the past, and they said that it was due to budget cuts, which everybody knows was, you know, complete bullshit, because back then Bray Wyatt was the #1 merchandise seller with the Fiend character. So how could you be the #1 merchandise seller, the most popular character in all of WWE, but you're going to let him go due to budget cuts? You know, I don't really see that as like a logical, you know, point of view. But people are saying that, you know, he could have walked out because of the fact that Vince McMahon is back in WWE. And we could see how Vince McMahon has never really appreciated Bray Wyatt. But I still don't see Bray Wyatt conducting himself in that manner. You know, I think he at least respects the industry enough to just go out and do what he needs to do and what he's contractually supposed to go out there and do. You know, just like we actively speak about here on Interesting Podcasts. The Undertaker criticizes wrestlers breaking character on social media. Again, this is being brought to you guys by the Spotlight News. This is what they had to say. The Undertaker made his WWE debut at Survivor Series in 1990. Since then, the dead man has competed in iconic matches throughout his 30-plus years in WWE. Therefore, the Phenom was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame last year. There we go. Undertaker is one of the superstars who is extremely dedicated to his character. He protected the dead man gimmick until his retirement. Come on. Sorry, you guys. There we go. He protected the dead man gimmick until his retirement in 2020. Mark Calloway, also known as The Undertaker, recently appeared on BT Sports' Ariel Helwani show, where he discussed a wide range of topics. At one point, Taker gave his opinion about wrestlers breaking character on social media. This is what The Undertaker had to say, and I quote, "I think a lot of our talent, not just our talent, but just in general, they don't understand any concept of protecting a character or even developing a character enough to want to protect it. They go and do something on TV, and then you go to their social media, and they're completely different. I'm a dinosaur. I mean, my mentality is still 20 years ago. But, you know, I guess there's a reason, too, why I lasted as long as I did. It's just like, gosh, just live it a little bit. You don't have to go to the extremes that I did. But, man, just kind of be in real life just a little bit. If you're going to post something, at least kind of match what you're trying to convince people that you're this or you're that." End quote. Protecting a character is in the modern era is very hard because of social media. However, some superstars are able to protect their characters despite social media's existence, and it should be appreciated. That is what the Spotlight News had to say on The Undertaker, criticizing wrestlers breaking character on social media. And this is actually really interesting, because if you do look back at when The Undertaker was so prominent, we didn't do this a whole lot. We didn't really have like dirt sheets or, all of that. Or if we did, they weren't as expanded as they are right now, But there are still wrestlers that are able to protect their character, just like The Undertaker did, throughout all of those years. Because if you look at The Undertaker's career, back when he was the Phenom, he was at like the top of his game. Let's say he was like 16-0 at WrestleMania or something. You never saw him take pictures with fans. I didn't ever see a photo of The Undertaker outside of character, like going through an airport or sitting at a restaurant or, going shopping. I never saw photos of him like that. And it's because of the fact that I think he kept himself really secret just to protect that character, because that's how he made all of his money. So he actually made more money by being secluded and not allowing people to know who The Undertaker is, or taking pictures, or people seeing him outside of that character. And I think that was something that made The Undertaker so special and so captivating, was that you didn't know who The Undertaker was. And that is something that is lost in today's realm of professional wrestling, especially when it comes to social media, because you could have a character let's say the equivalent to an Undertaker. Okay, you could have a character like that. But with today's day and age and how wrestlers have to, tweet things out or communicate and get things rolling, get storylines going for the indies and all of that, it kind of breaks that wall down. But I think that's what The Undertaker meant by look and convince them what you're trying to already convince them in the ring. So if you're going into a rivalry, don't go out and tweet unless it's about that rivalry. Still keep that steam line going, for whatever you're working on. But just don't break character out of nowhere and then expect us to still be able to attach to you like we would have not been able to attach to The Undertaker had he been on social media and had he taken pictures and done all the things that he's able to do now because of the fact that he's retired. Really freaking interesting, man. Really, really, really interesting. And actually something that, me and Antonio had actually brought up in one of our recent podcasts was the fact that is true. It is extremely hard to keep a character secret in this day and age. Freaking crazy. But John Cena, okay, now next story. John Cena gives his opinion on Vince McMahon's misconduct allegations. This is what the Spotlight News had to say, and I quote. Last June, Wall Street Journal reported that the WWE Board of Directors started investigating Vince McMahon's secret $3 million settlement to a former employee. It was later revealed that McMahon had paid multi-million dollars to several females. As a result, the 77-year-old decided to step away from WWE in July. However, McMahon returned to the company in January despite facing several lawsuits. He is also spotted backstage on last week's WWE Raw and is currently offering ideas to Triple H. In an interview with the Associated Press, John Cena was asked whether it was difficult for him to reconcile his feelings towards McMahon due to the misconduct allegations. This is what John Cena had to say, and I quote, No, I mean, everyone has the right to have their perspective. I have the right to have mine. When you love somebody, you take them as imperfectly perfect as they are. We all make mistakes, and we all have poor decisions. Lord knows I've made my collection of poor choices. That doesn't mean I'm not going to love somebody. There's no way I can go on record and say I don't love Vince McMahon. End quote. John Cena is scheduled to compete against Austin Theory for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 39. And that is what the Spotlight News had to say on John Cena responding to the allegations against Vince McMahon. And this is actually an issue in which I have with this report. Okay, check this out. So, obviously, John Cena has always been one of Vince McMahon's biggest characters. Like, Vince McMahon is what made John Cena as big as he is by the way that he was booked. I would never, ever see John Cena go out and actually not only speak against WWE, but speak against Vince McMahon. Because we all know, or we not all know, a lot of people know, all of the shit that Vince McMahon does. And it's actually going to be something that we are going to dive more into when me and Antonio do the Dark Side of Pro Wrestling podcast, where we're actually going to be talking a little bit about Vince McMahon and just some of the really messed up things that Vince McMahon has done in the past or allowed to happen in the past, where I don't see that as a valid point by John Cena to just accept him as imperfectly perfect as he is. Really? So like we're just supposed to just completely ignore everything that we're going to be talking about, and we're just supposed to just ignore it because of the fact that it's Vince McMahon? That's the issue. It's the fact that he is a billionaire who can go and pay all of these lawyers. That's why he's still able to be in WWE facing several lawsuits, and he's not going to get in trouble. So how is John Cena supposed to sit there and almost like say that he understands everything that Vince McMahon is going through? He just doesn't care because he loves Vince McMahon. But it's like there's still that point in which you have to at least acknowledge what somebody is doing and say that it's wrong. Especially like, how does this help John Cena? How does this make John Cena look any better to any of us? Especially the people who do know all of the stuff that Vince McMahon has done. I don't understand that. And I see right through that. Because John Cena is not going to go out and speak out against WWE or Vince McMahon. It's never going to happen. It is always going to be a PR response like we got here in this report. Freaking ridiculous. I swear. John Cena, man. John Cena. But anyway, man, these were all of the news that we had to break down here today on Interesting Podcast. Again, this was episode 36 for March 16th, 2023. My name is CodyT503. And I will actually be back live this Saturday with Antonio. I actually got my computer working perfectly good. We are up and running back, ready to go for this Saturday. And then make sure you guys get notified so that on March 21st, this coming Tuesday, you guys can get notified when Interesting Podcast, me and Antonio, get to actually interview the devil himself, the king of Northwest Hardcore, Derek Drexel, live on YouTube and Facebook at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys get notified so you guys can come and watch what is going to be an amazing interview. I am so freaking excited. But man, we have a whole lot coming your guys' way. This is going to be some great stuff. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, and tell me what you guys thought about today's WWE news. Again, my name is Cody Thixton, and this is Interesting Podcast. I'll see you guys live this Saturday. I'll catch you guys later.